Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, May 19th, and NVDA just won't stop. Hasn't stopped all week long. Not sure if it's today's going to be the day or if it's just going to continue running it up. Hello, Scald. Hey, Hardy. Nice to have you guys off grid.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Seeing you all here so close to 8:30 must mean that there's economic news or something big happening. Or maybe it's just Friday.
Friday, y'all. Happy Friday.
I was just taking it as a bullish sign for the economy in general that the entire old gang is here. So maybe things are beginning to heal.
No, we'll know we're in the good times when Loose comes back. But until then,
Hendrix, I think you mean recession.
Yeah, we could be in a recession, and Luce is like, I've got a new value play for you guys. It's called Exxon. It's like, what? That would be rough times indeed.
hoping to see Rad the Reptile here. I have some questions about mining. And what is the real driver of all these like super speculative companies? They just say they found gold, but have they really? You know, and then they pump up like something like 1,000%, 10,000%.
Yeah, it seems to be the formula is you buy land with mineral rights, and then you hire some sort of chemical geologist to go and do a survey, and then your stock goes to the moon. That seems to be the formula.
We need to mine the moon, I think.
Who has mining rights to the moon?
I mean, America put her flag on it first, so I'm going to go with us, USA.
It's true. Transportation might be a little bit of a challenge. Oh, go ahead.
Someone in the comments said the moon landing was fake. This is the kind of great commentary I come to this sub for. Very good.
Oh, by the way, we're implementing a new politics filter for comments, so hopefully you'll see fewer purely political comments. We've also got some nice filters for automatically classifying, purely fetish type comments, and overly or alternate crypto comments. That one's not necessarily as dialed in yet, but those are coming soon. Very excited for that.
Oh, you just ruined my day.
Very nice. Very nice.
Sorry,
You know
no
how
more.
much I love that stuff.
You and you alone. Wait a second. I just realized TRUP is sneaky language for Trump. Is that what's been going on this whole time?
No, it's a pet insurance company.
I feel like this is a cover.
Jay Bourbon didn't pay me off. Well,
Here it
yesterday
is.
Scald said
go
it was a shitty stock, so you can censor it.
I can censor it because it's a shitty stock. I mean, you can make money whether a stock goes up or down. You don't have to be long only. I mean, it's easier, but well, arguably easier. A lot of companies I feel are personally very overvalued.
Like NVIDIA.
Oh, fighting words here, sir. NVIDIA will not stop. It'll just continue going up.
Oh, I
Forever.
tried shorting it a few months ago and I gave up.
A few months ago was definitely not the time to try shorting NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Slut lost his ass shorting Wingstop. Oof, but why Wingstop? Isn't that just like...
Oh, it's a conspiracy. There's like he can explain it better, but there was like some shady stuff going on.
Is this the conspiracy where like they say they're giving you wings, but actually it's a different part of the chicken?
No, I think they were they were going up like exponentially, and their market cap was bigger than their revenue, and it didn't make sense.
See. Wingstop, best tech company. I
I
agree.
think it was the institutional ownership of the shares was over 100%, and some people didn't understand why.
See. And so clearly the logical thing to do was to short it.
Apparently.
I'm not sure. I wasn't in on that play.
Which increases the chance that the shares fell over 100%.
Right. He's coming on
Right.
stage to defend himself.
Oh no.
All right. I'm awake. God damn it.
Hey, Front.
It's they had hit their 52-week high, and I was expecting them to have a bit of a pullback, but instead they just kept on rocketing up. So their PE ratio is totally blown out at like 108, and they are classified as a tech stock because they have an app, but also because we're in the middle of a chicken shortage with the avian flu and the CDC cutting back the chicken numbers. And I thought that was going to affect their quality, which would affect their business because they're overpriced and they just aren't very good quality in the first place.
All fair points. But did it work?
Hell no, it didn't work.
I almost followed you on that, but I was suspicious.
I think I jumped in at 183 and I jumped out at 200. So I got burnt, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take the loss.
It's not so bad. I mean, it went ended up going to like 210 or something afterwards. So could have been hit harder.
Yeah, that's true. I'm actually kind of like taking it personal, and I think I'm gonna go long on it just so that it crashes.
I mean, NVIDIA's been on a tear and all that. How about GameStop?
Yeah, GameStop has just been on an absolute tear since it broke down to $18.
Yeah.
I think that's on the back of the Tears of the Kingdom release.
Well, I mean, if you want to say people are speculating from that, but we don't have any results from those sales yet, other than launch day overall sales, not just at GameStop. We'll see that flow through to the next quarterly report, which will hopefully improve it.
Yep, that's true. I'm surprised. I thought that Nintendo would have had like a larger online sales channel as opposed to like having people go in store. But then I saw all these photos of big lineups at GameStops, so kind of made me curious. Are people still transitioning to digital purchases?
Yeah, well, I think with Nintendo, at least, they offer exclusive in-store products. Like you get a bonus, map or incentive to buy the physical game.
There's also big like YouTube presence of people that buy physical games.
Sorry, what? A YouTube presence of these people who buy physical games?
Yeah, like people who like review and show them off.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
And Nintendo doesn't really have online sales compared to companies like Steam, so like you have to pay full price anyway. You might as well get the box.
Yeah, but what the other part that you're forgetting, that Nintendo itself is more of a collectible item. If you price out Xbox games or 360 or even Xbox One games, you compare that to current price of GameCube games, and it's night and day. So people are buying these things, like your average Nintendo collector, like myself, buys them and holds them and never gets rid of them.
Yeah, and the digital, you can't do that with. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually lucky enough to snag the last, because I was dumb and did not pre-order the limited edition. I was snagged the last limited edition Tears of the Kingdom at my local GameStop.
That's kind of what I meant, like, because the retro game market blew up over the past like 5 to 10 years, and I think people,
yeah, exactly,
they see Switch as a future retro thing.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a dip. Like if you look at like the Wii is the only console that like you can still get things pretty cheaply. Outside of that, if you go back, like everything is like a GameCube's I think $150 for the GameCube itself. Most of its games run anywhere from $30 to $60. I think like Pokemon Coliseum, for instance, I think runs like $150 for like a regular copy.
But yeah, short-term GameStop said.
So, like, if I buy Zelda at GameStop, do I also get some kind of NFT for the GameStop store that's going to drive me to, like, actual GameStop's NFT marketplace? Or are they just, like, sleeping on that opportunity to cross-promote?
They are definitely sleeping on that opportunity to cross-promote.
You should get that game anyway. I've been playing it the last 2 days, and it's pretty much better than any earthly pleasure I've ever experienced. I will say GameStop the price has crossed the line of hedging nightmares, and I'm expecting a sudden jump up in price until it gets halted, and then it will come back down. And this happens every time it crosses this imaginary line.
Nintendo is really, I would say, really popular among kids here in Japan. It's something to glue their eyes to. And I don't know about like America or other places, but I assume the same thing is kind of what brings Nintendo still in the light. Other than that, apart from the collectors and people that are paying $100 a game and using it as a secondary market, they're not really connected to the secondary market. So I'm not really sure how that helps them long term.
And my brother's not a collector, and he actually just bought a Nintendo system. He was actually wondering which system he should buy. And I don't think he particularly cared about like which was the beefiest. I think he wanted the lineup that he would play the most casually.
Dude, what's up, Ao? Been a long time, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. Been a minute, but I'm back.
Did you get banned or something?
No, me banned? No.
Life.
I see why we had to put all the sex filters in. Now this guy's back. All right. Well, if we're done talking about Nintendo, there was the Chinese yuan is dipping in demand for some reason.
The market went down yesterday for them, so that's why.
Yeah, actually, so I was reading on this this morning, and it's speculation of tensions between China and America. China has actually also gotten very strict with their espionage law, and they are not trusting foreign firms. When you combine that with kind of like what's going on with America and China, a lot of non-Chinese investors have been pulling out of the Chinese market.
Wait, isn't the Chinese yuan above 7 compared to the US dollar?
It just breached the 7 mark, I believe, yesterday.
Yes. So whenever it crosses 7, is there like a good chance of the market falling? SPY generally tanking. That happened in last October, if I'm not wrong, and September too.
Well, I mean, Kramer said that they were in for an economic wave, so I mean, SPY should be tanking, right?
Well, I mean, that's always the notion, but I'm just like surprised with Dixie raising like this and the market also raising simultaneously.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
But there is always data that that suggests that the market doesn't correlate with the dollar. But what can I say? The market's always irrational.
Well, if you look at, so I'm not actually understanding the market at all, because if you actually also look at like crypto was also starting to sink as well too, and I'm not looking at it as like a direct correlation as it is, because it's not an exact correlation, but I usually see trends at least follow, if not a direct correlation. And the market is going up like exorbitantly, and not for good reason. I mean, we're all cheering that we're going to not hit the debt ceiling. That's like, hey, I paid my bills, so I'm going to go buy a new TV. It's like, no, I've still got more bills to pay. Also, I think the greater headline that's being missed.
Go ahead.
I'm so very sorry. I was going to say, I think the greater headline that's being missed is that the Fed is likely to raise their rates this coming up June, which is in 2 weeks, the 14th, I believe. Oh, I guess it's actually almost a month. I'm sorry.
Yes, the probability actually bumped up by 30% yesterday that they're going to raise rates in the next month.
Oh, yeah, the likelihood? Yeah. I'm sorry, man. What was the other guy saying a minute ago?
Oh, I was just going to say the market can be profoundly retarded. I mean, it can be very irrational. So you got to keep that in mind.
I also wanted to ask you, if anyone has any idea about the debt ceiling. So once the debt ceiling is raised, obviously the Treasury has to, raise money by selling more bonds, right? That actually increases the demand for bonds because the rates can go high. The inversion curve, will be at an extreme level. doesn't it tank the market? I'm just confused. So if you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, it's not gonna like taint. It's not gonna dip the market by any means. I mean, unless everybody jumps to the bonds, right? But if you think about it, back in the like 70s and 80s, that's when bonds were like kind of hot essentially, and then they fell off in the 90s, early 2000s, and then that's when everyone jumped to the ETF game and stocks, right? Indices, excuse me. And so I think it's kind of speculative. Personally, I'm just speaking personally, an opinion. That the bonds will be the bull case essentially, and everyone's going to run to them. I don't think that's it. People are still going to want to invest in long-term portfolios, still going to make speculative plays. But yeah, of course, it might take a slim off the frosting of the cake, but that's about it.
I still feel like they're just using this debt ceiling as a sort of how do you say, a deceptive thing.
And not to interrupt you, but I'm going to just think about 9/11, right? The debt then was like, oh, we're never going to get out of this, blah 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 blah, right? Where's that debt? That's all you got to run with,
Yeah, well, the other part of that though is we just lost it. America has gone from a AAA credit rating to a AA credit rating. So I mean, if we raise our debt ceilings and sell more bonds, that also puts our credit rating at further jeopardy, and there gets to a point where it actually affects the value of the dollar.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah, I
that
think
it
the
was that
biggest
new
thing-
rating that made the stocks crash last time.
And they fight that.
Yeah, I can't remember what. Isn't
I
it like
think-
the? Go ahead. I'm just gonna say the bond yield. Isn't it like the greatest it's been since literally the crash of the 1980s?
Yeah, bonds are pretty spicy right now. However, looking at the debt ceiling, it's not just the debt ceiling raised, guys. There's also a concern about a default. And that's one of the things that's driving additional fear into this. There have been times where the debt ceiling hasn't been raised and there's been a temporary stop to government work. That has also negatively affected the market when that's happened, but it's also temporary because everyone knows the government's eventually going to get running again. I think the concern this time, and we've heard it thrown around, right, by Yellen and others, is that there's a possibility of a default. And that is one of the main drivers of concern. A U.S. default would be catastrophic. 40% of U.S. equities are owned by foreign investors. If the U.S. starts defaulting on its loans, we would very possibly see a mass exodus of foreign capital out of U.S. markets. And it would be a devastating downturn if that were to happen. Now, it's possible that you have a government shutdown and you don't have a default, right? In which case we would have a much more mild dip. But if you have both, I mean, it's going to be a real dumpster fire.
Earlier, someone said that capital is leaving the Chinese markets because of the stuff that's going on over there. And if capital leaves the U.S. market because of the stuff that's going on over here, where the hell is the capital going to go? I mean,
It's just going to be held on the side and wait for the turmoil to subside. I mean, if you look at Warren Buffett has sold what was the number? It was like $3 billion or something like that in equities, and he hasn't reinvested that.
Well, he sold.
That's
10
not
billion.
true. He reinvested it into Japan.
Java.
He sold 10 billion.
Fair.
He sold 10 billion just in Oxy stock alone. I mean, it's more than 3 billion. I mean, he had 10 billion.
I
That he sold
apologize.
directly
My
to
numbers
Oxy.
were wrong.
Just in
Java,
Oxy
did you
stock.
say the U.S. got downgraded to AA?
Yeah,
Yes, back
I
in
believe.
2011,
By whom?
if I'm not wrong.
Correct, but
By
U.S.
the-
is AAA again. So I'm trying to understand if it was re-downgraded. I am aware of the 2011 downgrade, but we're back to the U.S. government is back to AAA.
No, this wasn't 2011. This was just a couple months ago, man.
Which rating agency? Because I'm looking at Fitch, I'm looking at Moody's, I'm looking at Standard & Poor. U.S. government has top.
Bear with me
Top
just a
rating for
second,
all
and I
three.
will find exactly what I was talking about.
I know the one that happened back in 2011 by Moody's,
Yeah, I'm waiting to see Java's source on that one. Because the last time this happened, just to give everyone context, all the other rating agencies left US government with AAA. And the biggest reason why is because it had the ability to print the debt is denominated in the money supply that it controls. So the government can print away its debt. Risk of default is negligible.
But I still feel like this bull run is kind of playing out for exit liquidity for big players. So I'm thinking about going like a 60-day or 45-day DTE puts. What do you guys think?
I think you could be right or you could be wrong. Part of the trouble, I suspect, is what comes of the G7 meeting this weekend.
Hey, Hardy, what is this grading system that you're talking about for America? Sorry?
Credit rating.
Oh, credit rating.
The three major ratings agencies, according to Java, one of them, or maybe multiple, have downgraded the US from their top rating.
You know, maybe it was a threat? I could have sworn it was an actual downgrade, though. This was like 2 months ago, I think.
All right, no worries. It would have basically...
I'm looking into it actively right now. I apologize. I moved from my phone to my computer.
No problem. Thank you for the due diligence. Basically, had the credit rating actually left the highest level from the various rating agencies, it would have been headline news. That's why I'm suspicious.
Also, Hardy, I just wanted to ask you,
ask me what?
Looks like the Google.
Well, while we're waiting on that, there's someone in the comments who's saying that several of the countries that China has lent to are defaulting on the loans to China. Looks like the Belt and Road initiative is coming home to roost. China was like, we're going to lend to all these countries that no one will lend to and see what happens.
Yeah,
well, they're about ready to learn.
I think they did that so they can set up military bases. They were hoping they would default, and then they get the 100-year military base lease or whatever they had set up.
On a lot of those deals, were cut in exchange for China to actually provide infrastructure to these countries, right? So China would go in, give them the loan, they use the loan, pay China to do the work, and if they default on the loan, China then owns the land and the infrastructure. That was the plan. That's been the plan for a very long time, and they've aggressively pursued that in all countries, all of them.
Yep, that happened. One in Sri Lanka. They kind of had a property that is actually a port, a Sri Lankan port that is a major source of transport of imports and exports. So China had it under control by giving them loans.
Yeah, I think they're trying to take all the ports in the world so they could set up forward operating bases for potential military conflict in the future. And they built the infrastructure so they can move their troops around quickly. Kind of like how we built the highway system in America in case we had to move our troops around quickly.
I'm sorry, Hardy. I just wanted to ask you a small question. Are you planning on averaging down on the AMD puts? Because I'm in the play and I was debating.
Yes. So if the price hits 150, I'll deploy the last tranche of capital, and then I'll be fully in at 1%.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Also, if I just wanted to add this play, is anyone looking at Upstart? If it hits 25, I'm planning to go on some puts, probably July 31st. $25 puts.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful. It's
I feel like
volatile.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, we're talking about UPST, right?
Yep. It's on a tear.
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick in regards to that should have fell off by now. So I feel like just that industry itself is going to stay up. I don't know why. Maybe to keep recession out of the way.
There was a recent news of Upstart selling their loans, like which values around $4 to $5 billion, to a third party company. So based on that, it started. Sorry, what was that?
There's your answer.
Yeah, but still, I'm not really sure. Like, $25 suggested share price for Upstart. I guess it's just the hype surrounding around the news.
It was expected to go bankrupt, so a lot of people were short, and they're getting bit in the ass because it did not go bankrupt as quickly as people expected.
Yeah, and like you said, it could be just speculative right now because of news. I don't really know the Sanjay Datta. Is that a good CFO or not? I mean, you got to think about recognized leaders here too as well. Maybe they've done some talks lately too that kind of lured them back up. And by the way, he was responsible for Google's 50 billion global advertising business. So he's not that stupid,
There was a guy at Google that had just sold $18 million worth of shares, Director K. Ram Shriram for GOOG. Just
what
sold
day?
100.
Like today or last week?
I just seen the news like 7 minutes ago. He sold 150,000 shares.
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
No problem. It doesn't show the date though, which is weird. I assume it's today or recently.
He probably sold it a month ago.
Well, if he filed today, he would have had to disclose within, depending on how much he holds, 10 days.
I'll look into it, see if I can get a accurate date on that. I just seen it pop up real quick.
He chose a good time to do it. Google's been on a tear lately since they talked about their AI, and I'm expecting when Microsoft gets their chance, I'm gonna get calls on them.
Yeah, I'm wondering when it's time to take profit on Google, but I mean, it has room up to like 132.
Literally, as I was saying that sentence, I got a notification on my phone saying Google just hit a 52-week high at 124.06. Woo!
Yeah. It's on a tear.
Hardy, it looks like it was just, so I was mistaken. It looks like they were talking about risking credit rating downgrade.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big risk doing that.
I'm so sorry about the inaccurate information on that.
All good. Because
Looks like it was...
if it happens again, then my puts will print doubly so.
Yeah, I've got puts straight across the market, and I've been pissed about this week.
Yeah, how do I put this? The market has not been kind to me this week.
Well, wait till they come to a debt ceiling agreement. It's not going to be kind to you that week either.
Yeah, which, I mean, back to my exact point, though, is that it doesn't make any sense. Sure, you come to a debt ceiling agreement, but we're still talking about risking the credit rating. Yes, the defaulting would also risk the credit rating, but, I mean, either way, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. The default would be worse, but we're applauding the wrong fucking thing. If you're still in debt, you don't go out and spend more money. And that's kind of how I see the stock market, like, trying to rally, even though we're at an all-time high. I mean, look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's trading at 182 PE.
Lesser of two evils.
Yeah, that's an industry bubble, too. I mean, that's specifically tied to AI.
Industry average right now for the semiconductors is 24. That's 182. There's a massive fucking difference on that.
Yeah, Google director sold his shares at 120, so that should give a somewhat of a timeline.
Yeah, that was like yesterday.
Guess it's time for puts.
The ad tech company and former market leader in AI, Google, going down. I heard it here first.
Bam.
Yes, I'm curious. There's a lot of speculation on that search is going to be changed and stuff. And so Google, there's a Google AI developer, if you want to say, call him that, that stated that essentially Google's going to have to like wake up and reinvent the wheel quicker than tomorrow, basically, or else they'll be left, basically with nothing. I don't know if that's necessarily true because YouTube's pretty, hot commodity, as well as their advertising space, and they're pretty good at owning the Google Maps and some other things. So I assume that they have a good foot in the door. I don't think that OpenAI and Microsoft are the greatest plays in the world. I do think they're strong for momentum right now, but I do feel at the end of the day, you have Llama and these different AI technologies that basically are saying we don't need OpenAI, and we'll create our own data source and train it and get it up running faster than OpenAI. So yeah, I would just say be a little bit speculative on Google and Microsoft. They're going to play the AI turn because it's not guaranteed that they're going to bring it home. And remember, you're never too big to fail.
Yeah, and to add on that point, Google's already expressed concerns about OpenAI projects taking advantage of so many open source engineers, I guess, and the fact that they don't need to have licenses of material and stuff. So they actually think that an open source AI would beat them out in the long term, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, in several years from now, do we look back at this and say this was the AI bubble, though?
Several years?
Yes.
We're going to get past this in a year and a half.
You mean the blockchain?
Yeah, I was
bubble and
talking
the
about
NFT
like
bubble?
looking. Yeah, like the .com bubble. How we didn't call it the .com bubble. When we were approaching the pop of it.
I'm still waiting
I
for
don't
the
know.
crash, which I was promised 12 years ago.
I just want to say, I don't think we're in an AI crash. We already use half this technology already. I think Hardy was going to point out basically, that maybe we're universally using more of the blockchain and whatnot, but I don't feel like this is a bubble. This has always been in the making. It's just more of an adoption thing.
Yeah, I think I think what I'm liking it to in the .com bubble is that with the .com, we were actively using the websites, but too much investment money was being thrown at it too early. And I think that's what the .com bubble was. And I think that's very similar to what the AI bubble is that so many people are trying to throw money at it prematurely that we're getting so far ahead of ourselves that it has to come back down to reality before we can actually invest into it at a rate that makes sense.
Well, I think if that's your standard, then we're definitely not in a bubble yet.
It's not just the rate that makes sense, but it's in projects that make sense, to be honest. Because so in order for AI to really do anything, it needs to be assigned some kind of a task, right? So like a lot of companies can have AIs and you can have these large language models and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, in order to be useful, AI needs to have a task assigned to it that it can work on, that it can provide value to. And I think in that regard, Tesla is probably further ahead than anyone else in doing that with their full self-driving and having AI in the Optimus robots at some point.
Is this a joke or a serious conversation here?
Oh, serious. Absolutely serious. AI, I mean...
Man, I can't wait. I'm going to send you a t-shirt. It's going to say, I love Tesla.
Tesla put it well or Elon Musk put it well when he said that they have the most advanced AI in the market today that they're using for the full self-driving because they put it this way: if there were a competition set up between Google, OpenAI, and Tesla, where Tesla's AI needs to be assigned the tasks that OpenAI and Bard have right now, Tesla's AI could easily do that. But if OpenAI's solution and Google's Bard were to try to do what Tesla's doing with full self-driving, they would fail miserably at this point. In order for AI, in order to extract value out of AI, it needs to do something that provides value. And it needs to do more than just having companies say that they're doing AI and getting investments as a result of it. It actually needs to do something.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. Like, just saying that you're doing AI is good and well, and you'll probably get a lot of money today, but at the end of the day, it's going to have to do something that creates value. And right now, Tesla's got a lock on that.
I'm not going to say.
I just want to get to some plays real quick. Oil is shooting up, which is really exciting. I know that I was talking about this earlier. It was up 16% yesterday. It looks like it's going to 5% pre-market. Also, I wanted to mention that Taiwan and America have put forth their first deal, and part of that conversation, I believe, if you're watching the politics here, it is. I believe that it's going to be a weapons trade. There's going to be weapons deals in there, and specifically looking at Raytheon right now. So they are going to start getting together their stuff. Sorry, they're going to start getting together their like trade packs and flesh out the deals a little bit more. But I believe that's going to be part of it, and that's going to be a stock that benefits from it.
Yeah, I wish I would have got into that boil pump yesterday when you called it out, but when I looked at it, I was like, there's no way this keeps going. I moved on. Guess I was wrong.
Dude, we did pretty good yesterday, Boyle and Dole.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
like
fruit gang.
Yesterday was a good day. Yep. The banana wins.
Yeah, my buddy just got back from Hawaii, and he was like, oh my God, the pineapple harvest is crazy. And I was like, I know.
Good morning, everyone. Anyone want to hear a crazy play?
Yes.
So what's the play?
What's the play?
Always pretty smart with their books, BNC Bank, and they were sitting around 112. They're at 120 today. I took.
I'm sorry, could you restart that? I only heard like half that sentence.
Sorry about that. I took 135 PNC Bank calls on Wednesday. It's up 8 points in 2 days. It's a regional bank, but they are very strong in the area. They always had very good internal safety precautions and everything that you would want out of a bank. So I think July 21st was the right date. They should report on July 18th their deposits. So I took a lotto position on them, which is paying off very well so far.
Very nice.
What was your expiry on this again?
July 21st.
July 21st. Got it.
To be fair, I mentioned that one with KeyBank on Wednesday to some confused money people, and KeyBank didn't do as well yesterday as PNC did, but PNC is a much stronger bank. They're still at after pandemic level when you look at their 5-year pricing. I believe they're strong enough to get above 135, back to the 150 range, even if some other banks fall.
Like it. Also, do we have the true Pandian? Do we have the? Oh, sorry, we're still talking about PNC. after this, I got another question for people.
Yeah, just a quick one. What was the bull case for KeyBank? Because by all accounts, they're terrible.
Honestly, it just deals with the it wasn't a strong decision by me, but KeyBank had to buy a lot of the PNC branches a few years back when the federal government said, PNC Bank, you've grown too large in the area to start to be a monopoly, so they sell a lot of their branches off to KeyBank. And so I figured there was enough of a percentage of those banks that used to be PNC, but it wasn't as smart of a play. But just because of the relationship that they took over some PNC Bank branches, within the last decade.
Okay.
And that position definitely wasn't as big as my PNC position. So even if PNC falls again for a while, they're strong. They are a strong fundamental bank. If you look into them, a lot of their area is just a lot of their management is based on I don't want to say it, being cautious but yet profitable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with PNC being a good regional, but I didn't really understand the key thing. I figured maybe you meant to say you were shorting key and long piece of PNC, which would make more sense.
I would have probably made the same decision about a year ago, but being how badly I was bit on stocks like NVIDIA and Tesla when they had their decline, I know it's not the same type of company, but PNC is a money maker and always a firm holder of deposits. So they have, if you look at this region isn't a lot of newly crazy lending for any tech startups or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to disagree on PNC. Hey, Scald, you had something you're going to move on to.
Oh, I just saw people yelling TRUP, which is the ticker for True Pandian, in the comments. So I just want to hear from the True Pandian bulls. What's the bull case on this? Because I did a deep dive into the financials, and it's like a dumpster fire, dude.
There is no True Pandian bulls. There's just a bunch of people spamming this because JB.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I thought like it was like actually becoming a meme stock, and people were like TRUP and like yelling True Pandian out, and I'm just like, why though? Looking pretty bad on the balance sheet.
Jay Bourbon loves it. Apparently, he thinks there's a lot of growth in it or potential. Or I think it's pet insurance or something, right? The TRUP.
Yeah, SPY opening at 420, bullish for weed stocks. Especially if it opens at 420.69, extra bullish for weed stocks. I think if SPY opens at 420, people will remember that weed stocks exist and will ape into them.
I definitely love it. Not weed, but the connection. Part of the inside joke of that for me is I was married on April 20th, and people asked me if I was a pothead.
I guess it's better than being born on April 20th.
Definitely. In like San Francisco.
I don't know anything about it, but it's funny because my wife was a manager of a weed store for a while. And then like we walked into this weed shop and they started talking to me, assuming I was the one buying the weed. And I was like, man, I don't know the difference between indigo or Stratera, That's all my wife. And then they just looked at me like I was a moron and immediately started talking to her about all these different stuff that I don't understand.
Indica and sativa.
Those are the ones. Yep.
That's hilarious. Is anybody watching Google? There's a couple red pins going down, maybe based off that news. And the puts I was looking at on there, they're from yesterday, but they looked pretty cheap. They might be more expensive at open. Like a 123 put was 38 cents. And it's at, what's it at now? Google is at 124. It's got a lot to move, but it dropped down to 120, about 123, 47. Then it dropped down to 123.71 already, but
Yeah, it might be on the news. It might just be a retracement from the 52-week high.
yeah. I wonder if it's a potential to maybe get some puts and catch one of those pins going down, have a sell price already set if it continues that pattern. I just posted a picture of the chart for it. It's the 1 minute, but still shows some decent activity going downward.
Is Apple bullish or bearish in the market? What are you guys feeling today? What's it feeling like? Because I'm locked in on Apple but I don't know.
I think with the fact that it's a monthly expiration date, right? Apple seems like a company performed and is still going to outperform the rest of SPY. So I wouldn't get in the way of any tech today. I think that if you see a sell down, it's a fake move and they're just going to buy the dip and push any puts out of the money.
Valid. Do you feel that the same would happen for, I guess, the semiconductor industry, such as like TSM and NVIDIA?
I think NVIDIA is not something you want to get in the way of. And TSMC, I would just follow the senators' trades. They sold out of it. That doesn't mean they bought puts. So if you have the ability to short TMC or TSMC and the ability to buy out of the money calls on NVIDIA, that's the only thing I would consider, but I'm not going to directly short TSMC.
Interesting. Okay. Valid. Fair. That's very interesting. What are you in yourself? If you don't mind me asking. Is that normal? Is that okay? I'm pretty new to the community.
Ask. For today, there's nothing that has been answered, but as far as like long term, the one that got brought up that nobody really talked about is TRUP Pandian, because basically this guy used to be a cigar salesman, had a trip to Mexico, came up with an idea to insure pets on the beach, goes back to Canada, starts up the company, starts insuring pets in the biggest markets in the United States, which is mainly New York State and California. They start buying smaller companies and rolling it up into this big ass pet insurance company, but then they start losing market share. So instead of going out and acquiring more customers, he starts charging people more and inflating their premiums by claiming that he's charging veterinarians more, but veterinarians across the industry are making about the same. So if you dig into TRUP Pandian's financials, you'll see that they acquired companies for about $45 million, inflated their assets so that the companies they acquired didn't appear as material during accounting. And then within 2 years, those companies disappear from their investor reports. One company, for example, is Aquarium. You search their reports, Aquarium appears, I think, like 20 times in 2021 or 2022, and then their most recent filing, it doesn't appear at all. So what people think this guy is doing is acquiring small insurance companies, rolling them up into his own company, and then just basically charging people overinflated premiums to keep their pets healthy. And one of the shittiest things this guy does is he won't allow people to insure older pets. So now that
What
people are
country is
getting
this
into this,
in?
what's that?
What country is this in? Is this a US based company?
Yeah, it's TRUP, the one that these Trump boys are bullish on. It's actually like a big insurance scam. So I would look into the financials, but specifically where I'm at is the 12, 15, 17.5p. It's very expensive, but that's just where I'm going to sit for now.
The bourbon has been summoned.
I just wanted to clear the air that G Gentleman was the one that brought up TRUP in the past couple weeks, right? D Gentleman?
Yeah, but the only reason why I know about it is because the short seller that brought up Silvergate and SBNY has been posting on Twitter like detailed threads about EO Daryl, his origins, all the financial scams he's running, and basically the biggest bag holder of Trupanion is Aflac. So I would look at as much information as you can in terms of their 10Ks and just follow the money. Like, there's a bunch of insurance companies that bought into this guy's scam and they can't sell out of their position fast enough. So I think this thing is going to go below book value, which is $7.13. So I think that getting in the 17.5p is probably the only way I want to play it. And going out to 12.15 gives me enough time. But my average cost on that is $3.35, so I'm down a little bit, but there's not a lot of volume there, so I would stay away if you're
Is
not
an average
like,
cost of 3.7 too high in your opinion? Or do you think it's still a quality entry?
I mean, I have until like my conviction that this thing is overvalued is strong, and I think that until December 15th, I have enough time to figure out like what's really going on. But I think that trying to take it down like week over week is kind of a fool's errand because he's been able to run this scam for so long.
Do you think he's going to be able to pull off the scam, I guess, past December at this point? Or do you
I think like
coming up?
literally what I think will happen is that during Christmas, like that Thanksgiving break, when people are like, oh, should we buy the kids a pet? Should we get them a dog? Like, should we get them a puppy? It's like, yeah, we
Not
should.
gonna be able to
And
handle
then-
it.
Exactly. I think by that time, like all the information will be out that this guy's a piece of shit, and he's not going to be able to get the
One
same
more minute.
amount of customers around that time.
Okay.
So
How many
in-
shares did you buy? Do you mind me asking? A lot or no? Because I want to. It sounds interesting.
No,
I'd like to-
I have one put, and it was $3.35, and it's for 12.15.
Okay.
I'll
I'll buy one as
the-
well.
the-
Support the vision.
Oh man, somebody.
They sound like the Carvana. They sound like the Carvana of pet insurance, and Carvana is refusing to go down. Like, from my issue with shady people, like betting against shady people, is those snakes always find a way to wiggle their way out and run some kind of a new scam that gets them out of trouble. Because that's what Carvana seems to be doing, and that's my concern with this play. Buying puts on them is that shady people always seem to find a way to weasel their way out of trouble and they come up with a new scam.
That's so true. So true.
Gentlemen, do you know of any other pet insurance company that might be larger? Because the overall thesis, right, is just people treat their pets like kids, so then they have insurance. I would say roughly 50%, or at least right under it, of people who have pets have pet insurance in some capacity, especially since people's jobs offer pet insurance, even at discounts. I know mine do and a few others. So I'm just curious to know if there's any other pet insurance related.
Yeah, so just
stocks
to
to track, assuming that TRUP is, being affected by short sellers or insiders or whatnot.
Yeah, I'll post a article, but I think what you got to think about is like there's actually a very wide disparity in the markets that pay for pet insurance. It's really only concentrated to like 15 metropolitan areas. And for example, like California as a region has a massive percentage of the US pet insurance market. And in Canada, for example, the majority of the pet insurance market is in Ontario. So if you can find someone that competes with TRUP in that market, maybe there's something there. But in general, there's a hold on, I gotta find the article real quick. Go ahead. I'm just gonna mute while I look for it.
Someone suggested Google puts, and I'm looking at Max Payne right now, and it says 108 for GOOG. It might be a good play today. 0 DTEs, baby.
Yeah, I was the one saying Google puts yesterday.
I picked up some Google puts this morning. Just as soon as it opened, they're up 4% already. Got 3 puts at let's see, 124.
You bought these pre-market?
No, as soon as I just bought them like a minute or two ago. I was running a little late. Like, oh shit! And I jumped in, and it was cheaper than they were yesterday.
Google puts, you said?
Yeah, I got 3. Oh, now it's red. I mean, it's all over the place right now, but it was just up. But because one of the directors of Google sold 150,000 shares, I guess yesterday at 120, and it's like 18 million. So there's a little bit of a news that might affect it. It seemed like I seen the red spikes pre-market in the 1 minute. You can see they were dipping down to like 123.5 or lower.
What did you come in at? What did you invest in? At 123.86? Or what?
124 puts.
Okay.
And it jumped down to 123.5, and now it's back up to 124.5. So I think it's either going to go moon or hopefully it'll dip down again. Just like a last minute gamble play. I just seen the news this morning. Totally degenerate, but that's what we're here for.
That's what this community is about.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm liking this. I'll be looking for an entry today.
Yeah, I was surprised. I looked to check the prices, and they were 38 cents for 122 or 123. I forget. I think they went down as soon as the market opened, which is weird.
And what expiration are you looking at? Today's expiration, or are you looking at ways out?
0 DT. I'm pretty sure that's why they were relatively cheap. I got, let's see. I got 3 for 135, 3 contracts for total cost of 135. So 45 cents a piece. And the 123s were 38 cents before. And the 124s dropped down to 45 cents, so I grabbed one. It went green for a couple seconds, but now they're definitely red.
Man, fucking Robinhood. Fuck. The fuck just happened? Oh wait, actually right now is a great entry. Guys, look at Robinhood. What's your thoughts on Robinhood puts today, guys? What are we thinking? Wait, I can't hear anybody for some reason. Hold on, what the fuck?
You hear the music?
I don't think
Just the
anyone was
music. I hear the WallStreetBets sound music, but not the mods.
This usually happens right as market opens. Everybody shuts up and looks at their account.
Yeah, nobody was talking. Nobody was talking.
Everybody's looking at their
losses,
positions. Yeah, their losses, yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's looking Good
so
year.
far, $50 down, so sounds about right. Apple dipped hard.
It's a $11 strike cash secured put on Pac West expiring today, so I'm going to be getting some Pac West shares at $11. Right now, the price is around $6. Yay for me.
Looks like Google's going to the moon. Boo for me.
I mean, I could either buy back the put, but I think I'm just going to take the shares and sell covered calls on them.
Bourbon, are you there?
Yeah.
Found the source. So there's an agency or association called the North American Pet North American Pet Health Insurance Association. And on May 16th, 2022, it reported that the United States market pays about $2.5 billion in pet insurance premiums, whereas Canada only pays $246 million. You can see why he came into the United States rather than staying into Canada. But in terms of the largest share of insured pets, reside in California, which has 19.3% of the insured pet market. New York is 8.4% of the pet insured market, and Florida 6.1%. 81.7% of insured pets were dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, majority are dogs, and the remainder are cats. But the number of cats being insured has increased significantly more than the number of dogs being insured year over year in the past couple of years.
You work for Trupanion?
Do I? No.
Yeah, he's an official advisor.
Yeah, I'm just a financial.
He's their financials and risk management analyst.
Risk management analyst.
Just picked up a call for Google. Gonna ride the wave up, hopefully.
That's interesting that Canada is such a difference from the United States on pet insurance premiums.
It's only like 10% of the United States market, which is crazy.
Yeah, so it's potential growth if we see the increase continuing for people getting pet insurance. I mean, we're already at 45% of everyone that has a cat or a dog has pet insurance.
It is a fact.
I just know I have pet insurance, and I don't like paying for shit.
America loves pets,
And Canada's
part of our culture. Well, Canada eats them.
Yeah, we know about China.
We're a bunch of barbarians over there.
Yeah.
So the news I read in Russia about Canadian barbarians is real? No,
yes, indeed.
I knew you guys have the secret human eating labs.
Only in Canada.
They got all drunk on maple syrup and just... It's a slaughterhouse at the pet store.
Google is interesting right now.
Yeah, I picked up a call on Google. My puts are down, so I picked up a call. Now the call's up 50%.
Same. Do you think it's gonna keep running?
Shit, and it just dropped to 20%. Oh man. I think it's gonna go up a little, maybe down a little. I don't know, but I wanted to try to grab some of the green wave while I was sitting in the red.
I think we did. I think we got part of it. I came in 56% up. Let's go.
My call's up 300% on Google, and it's just, dude, it's just had a rocket on it all week. I think that it's going to start petering out though around this level. So you look on your puts, and yeah, but if you look at the options chain, we're like right at the top of we're like super outside of max pain and where all these option payouts are. So I think it gets reined in a little bit.
Is anybody holding Robinhood? I feel like Robinhood might dip today.
And keep talking about Robinhood. What is it doing? I haven't paid attention.
I have a feeling that Robinhood might dip today, but I want to hear a second opinion from the expert community. What are you guys feeling about Robinhood stock? Because it's supposed to crash, in my opinion, no?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't paid attention much, but anywhere in the chart I'm looking at, any time interval, it's down.
Right.
It's sitting at $8.65. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really bullish, nor am I bearish.
Fair.
How are the options looking?
The ass. All my contracts are bad.
These options are like pennies.
It's a fucking wild one right now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do they do earnings already? Yeah. They slightly beat earnings. Last time they
Meta's performing today. Meta's doing good. Yo. Dang, boy.
Yeah, Meta's been on a tear the past
And
3
there
months.
goes. There it goes. Like I said, just right as I told you it was gonna reverse. Google's down now.
Oh, time to get Google puts.
Yes.
Ah, fuck, I missed it. Dang.
No, I performed it perfectly. Okay, well, thanks, guys.
Fuck, Amazon's down. Meta's still dumping money into chips.
Yeah, that Google on the
Was
one minute.
pumping.
That's a dump.
Bro, the fucking BlackBerry's paying off. Good thing I rolled.
Yeah. It expires today, right?
Hey, I have a question on these zero. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
I was gonna say on these zero DTEs, when is the cutoff? Like, when do you have to like either roll or close or whatever?
Like
three
before
o'clock?
4 p.m. Like I would do it before 3.
Before 3.
But I mean, it's 4 is usually cut up, but it'll die real quick at 3. But are you talking about buy 0 day to expire, or are you talking about just individual stocks on Friday? Because that's technically a weekly.
Zero DT. Well, yeah, I guess it would be technically a weekly. But like some of these people are talking about like Google puts that are zero DTE, but I think that's just because it's a Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 19 cents to 54 cents a contract, 6 contracts. I'm done trading for the day. Thank you very much. Talk to you guys later.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, I literally just rolled these contracts like at 2:58, like 2 minutes before market option market.
Apple's falling.
The hell has Apple been doing?
It's a little interesting. It started out, but it's falling right now.
Yeah, I mean they're chugging along nicely, I guess. They announced anything?
They announced some what's it called? VR technology yesterday, from what I recall.
Oh my god. But I know they were restricting use of like ChatGPT and stuff of that nature.
That moment you forget to get into AI, so you have to start restricting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck,
Like,
we missed
well,
the trend. What can we do? We go fuck everyone over.
Yeah, ChatGPT launches iPhone app for
I was
iOS.
literally about to say, imagine as a competitor, ChatGPT gets angry and launches an iPhone, a better one.
Yeah, Apple will just cause them create an app that they get a piece of, and they charge money for it. That's some Apple shit right there.
Does sound like them.
Google stock has reached gamma max. Look for a drop. Well, kind of missed that, right? What was that fake ass morning pump on Google?
Probably a trap. I mean, if it's had a big run this week, I would expect people to try and take profits before the weekend, especially if they're on margin. Or they don't want to hold it over the weekend.
I see how Tesla's performing. Oi, Tesla can dip. I don't know if you guys are looking at Tesla right now, but it's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, perfect time for puts. Tesla dumping hard.
Where'd the soundbot go?
Nice. There we go. Tesla's printing me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quick trade. Nice. 200% up in 2 minutes. Yes, sir. That's how we like it. Let's exit that position.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Elon ruined the AI word. I'm interested to see how that plays out with NVIDIA. I think their earnings is on the 24th.
Yeah, it is. They are on the 24th.
Yeah, and then I mean, you know that AI is going to be mentioned. My question is AI mentioned more or less than 50 times during their call?
Everyone's trying to set a record right now.
Yeah, my question though, like in actuality, how is NVIDIA, how's the CEO going to justify a 182 PE? You know, even with the mention of AI, like that just doesn't make sense.
I'm just waiting for the next interview Trump does on a major podcast where he goes, AI, yeah, AI. I knew all about AI since long ago. AI, I predicted.
Yeah, I created AI.
Actually, AI is my best friend. We are very good friends. AI, go way back. Good guy. AI.
It's tremendous.
Yeah, and AI was speaking. We need to build the wall, and AI agrees. We need to build the wall. So I'm gonna be using AI. Oh, AI is not a guy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be using the technology AI. He's a very good friend of mine. Yes, yes. Uh, Trump's the type of guy to walk into a homeless shelter just to flex.
I think the gentleman has lost his mind.
What's up?
He's posting Shrek gifs in the chat.
Yeah, what's going on? Let's check the show.
Is he muted or something?
That's the fucking Shrek. Whoever's posting those Shrek memes is clearly losing a big position right now. Microsoft is super red.
Quick, say AI. Today's gonna be a super interesting day with Tesla. Shout out to all the Tesla traders in this Discord.
Maybe that was it. Maybe SPY just needed to hit 420, and now we can officially have a pullback.
Monogram just went public. FYI. Yesterday. For those who missed it, if you followed.
What's the ticket?
Let me tell you right now, brother. It came up 750% since yesterday. And yeah. Good day.
I bet the investment bankers on that deal are fixing the noose for this weekend.
Picked a hell of a time to go public, huh? I think I'm going to take my company public at the top
at
of
the
the
peak,
stock
at the
market.
peak before everything crashes, right?
Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you think 420, that's the top?
That's what I'm hoping for.
This market is so disconnected.
You know, I was looking into it, and it's kind of the reason why I was quiet for so long. I was just looking at thing, and I was reading up on the issue of when we did lose our credit rating back in 2011, and it actually happened 4 days after we raised the debt ceiling. When the Congress passed some whatever act it caused to raise the debt ceiling. So I know everyone's cheering the whole "let's raise the debt ceiling" part. And I know I've said this conversely, that it's converse and that we shouldn't celebrate. But now that I'm looking at that, I mean, they may be in a really rude awakening if we do lose a credit rating after we raise the debt ceiling. Couple that with definite interest rate hikes in June, and yeah, it's going to be a shit show.
Who did those downgrades? Is it like Moody's and S&P and all that, or?
Yeah, let me see. I may even have the link still pulled up. I mean, it's literally on Wikipedia.
In 2011, it was S&P, and they approved the debt ceiling raise 2 days before the expiration date. Was it 4 days after the expiration date, or 4 days after them raising the debt ceiling that America was downgraded?
4 days after Congress officially passed it.
Okay. Well, a lot of people talking, but I haven't heard anybody actually say what the play is. I would think it is SPY puts until 2 days before the deadline, and then SPY calls, and then some puts 4 days after they raise it.
Or actually, you
smart.
might even want to go out farther, but like go out November.
Maybe
Yeah, I'm actively looking at, like, I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass because a lot of my puts were mid June. Now these were puts that I was starting to buy up like a month ago. But my newer puts have been August and November.
Carvana. Carvanas that are green for June.
I think shorter dated would be the way to go. Playing this whole debt ceiling thing.
I think for Carvana, I think I seen some news where they're expiring like on the first, and my puts expire on the second. There's something like they extended their expiration or something, and it's on June 1st, and I got the put for June 2nd. I'm not too sure what it's all about. I got to look into it, but that was my main thesis for that.
Yeah, and in reference to shorter term puts, I always get burnt on those. So I always try to make sure that my puts are always no less than 5 weeks out. This gives time for me to allow like the market to play and decide. Man, it got super quiet in here.
Yeah, I thought I dropped. I just picked up some January near the money, just out of the money puts on Honeywell. I see them as a pure market beta play, and I would expect something between the debt ceiling crisis and just topping out of the market and recession fears and everything else, something to cause the markets to go down broadly a bit and
Yeah,
get some leverage on that.
smart. I like it. Damn, corn futures dipping low, huh, Leopard? Time to buy some bourbon.
But Anheuser-Busch is green. This comes as a shock. It's been red 8 days in a row.
Damn, what a movement. Holy shit. Wow. Damn, what a stock. Yo, I have a fire opportunity for everybody right now. Are you guys listening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ticker DN, these nuts. Bullish to the moon. Is that is that early? Is that early for today? Too early? Okay. My bad. Going back muted.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Could you repeat?
Never mind. I was trying to make a these nuts joke, but it was a little early. I forgot it's 10 a.m.
Oh, I thought it'd get better the second time.
If you guys are familiar with Troika Media Group, the stock is, let me tell you what's the ticker. TRKA. My boy has been a pretty decent term investor. He's been an investor since December. They're about to get acquired, from what I understand, from what he told me. So for everybody interested in a stock that will fly up, from what I heard, Troika Media Group. They're going to be delisted and everything.
The country of India is making moves against Google for antitrust breaches.
Friendly fire. Funny comment.
Watching spies just trading sideways right now, fuckers. That's where you get eaten up. You try to play them ODTs.
That is fucking crazy right now. SQQQ is very interesting today. I might trade some SQQQ. That could be interesting.
What do you find so interesting about it?
Still trying to figure it out. It's just interesting.
I got a Rivian parked right next to me.
What'd you say?
I'm at an account. I got a Rivian right next to me. Just pulled up on it. The pickup truck, whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're not bad looking, man. I'll shoot you guys a quick pic.
Holy shit, I'm finally in the green today. It's been way too long since I've seen that color.
SQQQ is going to be a runner today for sure. Dang, I'm 275% up on my IEF put. Fire. Got it 2 days ago.
I think new NU Holdings will hit 7 today. May break 7.
I'm interested to see Powell's speech today at 11 o'clock. And I want to see how that plays out on the market.
Who do you think is going to break 7?
NU, New Holdings. I'm up 38%, I think, or 32% for the week. And
Okay.
and the 36% for the month. It's been moving and moving since the report came out. It's a Buffett stock.
Should I get $7 calls for June 16th, or do you think that's too soon?
Well, I don't know. I've had that thing from the beginning. I had it at 10 actually at a time as a cost averaging through the years. So I just don't know.
But you think it'll hit $7 today?
It may. It's been a while. It may. I'm not saying it'll definitely. It just looks like it's having some momentum to do that. But I wouldn't. I'd make your own decision on that. Thanks, buddy.
Fair. No, thank you for the advice. I'm going to support it. You're a stranger. I'm going to check out your call. Let's do it. And if I lose money, I don't mind investing in new friends.
Well, the earnings report was a surprise. You know, I mean, it's above now. They were always spending money, making lots of
Now
spending.
Valid. Yeah, true. Oh, and then they're a digital banking service too, right? Damn, that's fire.
Brazil, yeah. But it went up even during. I mean, it was doing fine even during the problem with the banks here. It's a digital bank and a bank, and it also is going to get into the saying things like car. You could be in your car talking to the bank. They're getting bigger and bigger in Mexico also. There's an article today on the 7 stocks Buffett is making money on, and of course, one of them they talk about is new. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, brother.
You guys are the best, of course.
What? Us Russians? Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm kidding. I love Americans for no reason. Y'all genuinely do love Russians, though. I moved to Florida. The first day I came down here, walked to a bar and told somebody I was Russian. Holy fuck! The excitement I felt. That was crazy. They're like, oh, you must wrestle bears and you go hunting with Putin. I'm like, yeah, every day. That's my everyday.
You don't want to mess with Russian.
To answer D Gentleman says if J Powell answers questions, get ready for volatility. He says if he hints at a pause, then get ready for calls. My thought is that he has been saying stuff contrary to what the market has wanted to hear, and media keeps pushing the exact opposite. The last time I saw one of his speeches, he pretty much told the reporters 4 or 5 different ways that there was going to be no interest rate decreases in 2023. And then 5 minutes later, in a post conference, the one of the ladies that was, watching it or analyzing it, literally said, "So rates could be cut as early as September." So, I mean, there's a difference between what media wants to push and what he actually says.
For sure. And I think that one thing that is a counterpoint to that is that volatility still exists because there are bots that are going to be able to transcribe him as he's talking, synthesize the information, and start trading. And then a manager is going to come and look at it like, okay, take from here. And that's the level the
pretty
hedgies are playing at. So I think that taking directional SPY from Yellen or J-Pow is a mistake. It's just more of saying, like, this is an opportunity for volatility because people are going to be asking him questions that pertain to rate hikes. So I think UBI
unless he directly comes out and says something, which is not really his thing. He kind of hints at and avoids at, so this way he always leaves the door open, I think, like as a just in case, so you guys can't go back and say, you know, I told you so.
Well, during the last FOMC meeting, he specifically said, and he asked the journalists to take out that the wording's changed regarding guaranteed rate hikes. And he said something along the lines of, we should no longer assume that there should be rate hikes going forward, and it's based on a data-driven basis. So if the data supports rate hikes, then they're going to do rate hikes. And if it doesn't, then they're not. They're going to pause. He did say that during his last FOMC meeting, that the verbiage should be noted that it has changed significantly from definite rate hikes or expecting rate hikes to no longer having an expectation.
Yeah, I mean, well, so I watched that FOMC meeting, and he actually reiterated that that it has always been a, you know, wait and see. Like, he was saying, we look at how this has applied to our numbers, and then we each may decide. What was it? It was like judge the criteria or something like that, I think was what he said. But to kind of carry off of that, if you look at the jobless claims numbers and the unemployment numbers, I mean, all of these things are pointing to another rate hike. The problem is, and he said this during the first or second FOMC meeting, is that if you do too little, inflation can run away from you.
Yeah, because him and the other Fed members are looking at this as if it's the 70s. So I think you have to look at what was done during the 70s to manage inflation.
I don't think actually. I think he's actually kind of taking more of like what they did wrong in Venezuela. I mean, it's a basic standard economic principle that, you know, if inflation does get away from you, then you truly lose value of the dollar itself.
Morgan Stanley CEO announces retirement. Sorry, not retirement. Announces stepping down from Morgan Stanley. In 12 months.
Within a year.
Yeah. What time is their meeting again?
The meeting is at 8 a.m. EST,
Yeah, are
or
you talking
11
about
a.m. Eastern time.
11 a.m. is his speech, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at 11.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I'll see you all later.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a
You
good
too.
one. Take care.
Banks are moving a little bit to the downsy.
Hey, you all have fun. I'll see you later.
Have a good one. Take care.
Shit.